Hello and welcome. My name's Angie Holden and I'm the blogger behind the Country Chic Cottage. Brother recently released a sublimation printer. It's the SP1 and I thought, why not purchase it and see how it works. So we're going to unbox this printer, see what's inside, set it up, and give it a few test runs. Then hopefully by the end of this video, you'll know if the Brother Sublimation Printer might be right for your craft room. So let's see what's inside this box. In the box, you'll have the printer itself, 4 ink cartridges, cyan, yellow, magenta, and black. The power cord, which was already connected, so I didn't even have to do that. Then there's some sublimation paper to get you started. And then you do have like a quick setup guide, and there's several QR codes where you can get like more in-depth information. Now there's one quick setup guide like within the packaging, and then the printer itself, if you open this lid, there's another like kind of get started guide right here, along with QR codes. There are QR codes for a heat guide to purchase supplies like ink, paper if you wanted Brother supplies. Now this printer will work with a computer, but what I think is interesting about this sublimation printer is that it has an app. So for those of you that have been asking me, how can I print from my iPad? How can I print from my iPhone? How can I print from my Android device? This printer might just be for you. So I'm going to test out both the app as well as computer printing, see how this printer works, and make a few projects. The very first thing you need to do when you get any printer is to remove all packaging material. I'm going to go ahead and remove this Get Started guide. Now, when I pulled off this Get Started guide, this is a scanner bed. So you can probably scan stuff and print it to your sublimation printer as well, which is another really cool feature. If you've ever gotten a new printer before, there's going to be a ton of this blue tape all over it just to hold it steady during shipping. So I'm going to open everything up. So you have like the scanner door, and then you also have the printer door itself where you can see the inside. So be sure to check all areas for any packaging material and tape. The first step after you unpack the machine and check all the components, remove the packaging material, is to load the paper. So we're going to pull out the paper tray here at the bottom, and you can just pinch to adjust the guides. So I have 8.5 by 11 inch sublimation paper, which is what came with this machine. Now the Brother sublimation paper is unique in that one of the corners is cut. Put the paper in between the guides, and the cut corner goes to the lower right if you have the Brother paper. And then you can adjust the guides, make sure they're tight, and adjust the guide in the back as well to a letter size. Then we want to push the paper tray into the machine until it locks into place. And you're going to want to pull this flap out here and flip it over, pull it all the way out, and that's what will catch the paper as it prints. Now that you have paper in your printer, you can go ahead and plug it in. The front of this is adjustable, so you can adjust it however you would like to best see it. The printer will make some noise when you first turn it on. Now the Brother sublimation printer does do its own maintenance, so you want to make sure it's plugged in at all times and you never turn it off. Now you want to install the print cartridges in this area. So we're just going to flip this down, and this is where the cartridges go into the printer. Now that I've turned my machine on, it does tell me on the LCD display that the ink needs to be installed. So I'm going to just go from left to right. So I'm going to start with magenta. I'm going to remove the cartridge from the packaging, hold it horizontally, and shake it about 15 times. Then you'll hold the ink cartridge with the label facing out, slide it into the slot. So this one has an M on the outside of the cartridge, and there's an M on this door that covers the ink cartridges. So you want to be sure to line them up in the right slots. Then just line it up with the grooves and push until it clicks. So they should click into place. The next one is cyan. Again, I'm going to hold it horizontal, shake it back and forth about 15 times, line it up where the C is, push it in until it clicks. Now I'm going to repeat these same steps for all of the cartridges. Once these are all in place, we can go ahead and shut the cover door. The printer will then proceed to take ink from the cartridges and sort of fill the printer. That entire process will take about 8 minutes. The screen will walk you through a setup process in the meantime. You'll set things like the date and time, and you can go ahead and get the software on either your mobile device, your computer, or both. You can find a QR code as well as website addresses on the start guide that comes with the printer. As soon as the ink was done, it asked me to load paper and confirm that on the screen, and then it printed what is called a quality check sheet. This is similar to a nozzle check page. You just check the dotted lines on the color blocks and make sure they're all visible, no gaps. It does tell you what to do if you have any. I do have some dotted lines that are missing, so I would choose yes. So it basically asks you on the screen, are there any dotted lines missing? I'm gonna say yes. And then you choose the one that's closest to your result. Are there a few missing or many? I just had a few missing, so I am going to choose 2 in this case. For magenta. For cyan, I see all of them. For yellow, I have a few missing, and black, I see all of them. Then you just press start, and it will go ahead and run through a nozzle cleaning for you. That took very little time, and then it asked me if I wanted to print a nozzle check sheet. A second time I did, and this time all of my blocks are complete, so I'm ready to use my new sublimation printer. So when it says, are there any dotted lines missing, I'm gonna say no. So now it says printer nozzles are okay. So I did say there's a QR code on your start guide. It also walks you through it on the screen as well. So no matter if you have the start guide handy or you just go to the website address or scan the QR code on the screen, either way you can get to where you can start your setup process on either your computer, your Mac, your iPad, your iPhone, your Android device, whatever you have. I did also want to note on the back of the printer, there is an area where you could print legal size paper, so 8.5 by 14 inch paper. So you would drop this down, pull up this gray piece to support the paper, then you would just put your paper in between the 2 guides. I did want to note that this can only handle 1 sheet at a time, so it would be individually feeding the paper. When you feed the paper in this way, the printable side should be up. The Artispira app is what you will put on your mobile device. So iPads, iPhones, your Android phone, your Android tablets. It's available in the Apple Store as well as the Google Play Store. Now I'm going to show like a screen recording of me kind of using the app. However, I did want to say that there's not a way that I saw to get this onto your computer. So on your computer, you just click print out of any program and add the Brother printer to your list of printers on your computer. The Artispira app actually has like the functions inside of it to actually edit or resize your designs and then print them. So you would need something else on your computer resizing your designs. Now that can be any program, any free program. I have a wide variety to choose from that I've used with other sublimation printers, and they would work with this one as well. And I will go through really quickly the computer part of the printing process so you can see the settings that I'm using. But now let's head to Artispira and check that out. First of all, this app is free. You do get a 60-day free trial with your printer for like all of their stuff. Like they call it Artispira Plus, which is tons of designs and different things like that. You don't have to pay for that in order to use the Artispira app. Now I haven't even activated my free trial because I just wanted to show you that I could print from the app without actually signing up for that paid subscription. So I'm just basically going to demonstrate printing one of my own designs. And the design that I'm going to print is one that is available for free, and I have it for free in the description below this video, so head there and grab this design if you would like. So I'm going to click new, and across the top, this is the first thing that threw me off. You have embroidery, cutting, and printing. You do want to make sure you're on the printing tab on this page in order to get the right options. Then I'm going to click design editor because I want to upload my own design. The next thing it will ask me is the size that I want to print on. So you can see letter, legal, and custom size. Now legal is as large as this printer will print as far as I know, so 8.5 by 14. If you want to print custom size type of things like photo paper size or mug wrap paper size, you would hit the custom size button. I'm just going to print on the 8.5 by 11 letter size paper, and I am going to print in portrait orientation. The screen is fairly simple, and I'm just going to hit the plus button at the bottom, and I'm going to add a design for my camera roll. So just click camera roll and find the design on your device. Once you find that on your device, it will load up on the app. If you click the design, a few more options pop up. Things like effects, conversion, the sizing. I can click size and actually put in a exact size into this app, or I can just kind of use my fingers on the screen and expand them out and expand out the design to the size I want. Once I'm ready to print, I'm going to click OK. Then I'm going to click done. It's going to ask me if I want to save it, and I do. You can call it whatever you like and click save. This does store your designs on their server. Then it will pull up your printer as well as your print settings. Now when you install this app, it walks you through adding the printer to the app itself, so you will need to do that step before printing. Under print settings, we have print mode. I always use the quality mode. I wouldn't think that the speed mode would be what I would want. And then the mirror printing button was on by default when I pulled it up, and I'm not going to turn that off. You could turn that off under the print settings if you would like. Then you just click print to send it to the printer. This will prepare and print your design on the printer, and hopefully you can hear it start to operate. Now the printing speed is about in the middle, so it's not as fast as my Sawgrass, but not as slow as my Epson, so somewhere in the middle for the printing speed itself. I tried a couple different ways to print from the computer using the computer interface. So here I'm just like literally just printing a ping file, and I went ahead and went to the print settings. I found that paper setting, there was only one option, and it was transfer. And then for quality, I went ahead and picked normal because that was the best option available. Be sure to flip your print horizontally in order to mirror it. Now here are a couple different prints for you to compare. This one is out of the app, and this one is just my ping file printed on my Mac. The colors are very, very similar. I did find the settings in the app a little more intuitive, but the colors themselves were approximately the same. So this is Sublimation ink printed on a Sublimation printer on Sublimation paper right out of the Brother printer. Now when you press that to a polyester surface, first of all, note the difference in the colors and how much brighter it gets once you press it. Now you do need either a polyester shirt like I'm showing here, or a sublimation blank that has a poly coating on it. You do need that in order for the ink to have the reaction it needs to be permanent on your surface. Now you can see that both of these look really great. They both brightened up from where I printed them, and I think the colors are very, very similar. I did this hard on purpose because it has all the colors so we could kind of look and see how the printer performs. And I must say that I love the way the colors look out of this printer. These prints look amazing, and the colors are really bright and vibrant. I will say I had one issue. So this is a PDF that I printed, and this is a ping file. The PDF printed quite a bit lighter, and when I pressed it, the colors were very dull in comparison to the ping file. So I feel like perhaps that you might need to work on your settings on a computer. On the app, it was very intuitive and you just picked what you needed. But if you're on a Mac or a PC computer, you might need to play with your settings on each of the platforms that you print from in order to get these bright, vibrant colors. But it is definitely possible. So now you've seen some gorgeous results with the Brother Sublimation Printer. So let's talk pros and cons and how it compares with other sublimation printers that I've used. So I found pros, first of all. The Brother Sublimation Printer, I found it extremely easy to set up and extremely easy to use, especially with the app just printing something I uploaded. Now I didn't particularly like the app itself for designing. I felt it was a little clunky and a little hard to use. However, I do think I could get used to it. I do really love that the Brother Sublimation Printer, you can use an iPad, an iPhone, and all of those like tablets and phones, mobile devices to print. I've been asked many, many times how to do sublimation with mobile, and I just didn't have a good answer up until now. Now my answer is always going to be the Brother Sublimation Printer. It was extremely easy to use on my iPad and print to it with the app. Plus, you saw the amazing colors that I was able to get out of this printer. And that was just printing to it. I didn't have to do anything special, no type of color management, no type of further setup. The colors just came right out of the printer. The app was definitely the easiest for me to pick those printer settings. Like I said, I played with it quite a bit, and I felt like maybe on computer, on PC, on Mac, you might have to play around with each platform you print from. But once you get your print settings right, I was definitely able to get those same bright, vibrant colors out of my Mac that I was able to get on the app. Now a con for you might be that you want to use your PC. You might want to use your PC, you might want to use your Mac to print, and there is no software for this printer. So you would need to use and learn how to use another software to size your designs. I do have some videos on that, and I will drop links for those in the description below this one, so you can check those out. It is a very simple process on a wide variety of programs. However, you would need to learn that program and then play with the settings on it to get this printer to work on PC or Mac. And then a con for me, quite frankly, is the sort of color options they chose for this printer. So the top has sort of this strange design, as well as this area on the front. Some odd colors that don't exactly fit in my craft room. For me, that is a con. However, because this printer worked so well and was so easy to set up, I can ignore that fact for a little while. You might even be able to, if it just really bothers you, you might be able to come up with something like vinyl with your Cricut machine or something to cover those colors up. Now, how does this compare with the other sublimation printers I have? So currently, as of the filming of this video, I have a Sawgrass sublimation printer. I have an Epson EcoTank that I converted for sublimation, and I have an Epson F170, and now the Brother SP1. What are the differences? Which one would I recommend? So I will say that the Brother printer is a very good printer for the price point. So the Brother printer, around $400 as of the filming of this video. The Sawgrass is the highest end of the range, about $574. The Epson F170 is generally about the price of this Brother printer. And then you can get Epson EcoTanks to convert for way less. However, let's talk about pros and cons with each of those. So first of all, I feel like the Brother and the Sawgrass I've gotten the best print quality out of, and actual projects, they look the best. The Epson F170 is a very close second. I do feel like I get amazing projects out of that printer. However, the setup can be a little difficult. So it doesn't have cartridges like the Brother and the Sawgrass do, so I do rank the setup a little less. The Epson EcoTank is definitely the most difficult. It is the most difficult to convert, and it is the most difficult to set up because often you have color issues with those printers. And then let's talk about maintenance. So the Epson printers don't have an automatic cycle where they cycle through ink. That means they often get clogged. The Epson EcoTanks are definitely the worst. Epson F170, I've seen clogs in mine as well. And then Sawgrass and Brother both have automatic cycles where they kind of cycle some ink through to avoid those clogs. So I do see that as a huge benefit to both of those printers. Now, because the Brother and the Sawgrass both take cartridges, I wanted to compare the ink prices. So the ink price that I found for the Brother sublimation printer, if I was to purchase replacement cartridges to put in this, are like $39. However, it is a 48 milliliter cartridge. The Sawgrass cartridges, when I looked, are about $77 when they're not on sale, and they're only 31 milliliters. That makes the ink for this Brother printer way less expensive than a Sawgrass printer. So now that I've said all of that, which would I purchase if I had a choice? I would say that you can't go wrong with either the Sawgrass or the Brother sublimation printer. The only reason I would hesitate on the Brother would be that it is very new. However, it is from a brand that you've grown to love and trust. Even in the crafting community, they have craft cutters, they have embroidery machines. They definitely put out quality products. So I don't feel like that holds me back too much, but they are brand new to the sublimation printer world. The Epson printers, I think I would put below both of those on my list. The F170 is definitely my choice above the Epson EcoTank conversions. However, I do like the quality of the projects that I'm getting out of my Brother and Sawgrass better, and I like the setup much, much better, as well as the easy printing capabilities. So the F170 would be my next choice, and then the Epson EcoTank would be my last choice for a sublimation printer. However, if you are on a budget, just want to get started with sublimation, then the Epson EcoTank might be the thing for you. It is definitely the most budget-friendly way to get started with sublimation. However, remember, when you convert an Epson EcoTank, it's not actually a sublimation printer. You're converting it, and you lose your warranty. With something like the Brother, the Sawgrass, the Epson F170, you have that warranty to stand behind and can contact them with any issues. Now, I did not have to test the warranty, of course, on the Brother printer. I had 0 issues. Setup was very easy. I could find their support easily. The QR codes on the documentation were amazing. I could scan those and head right where I needed to. So there really wasn't anything I needed to find or any reason for me to contact customer service. So I can't say anything at all about the Brother customer service at this point in time. I have used Sawgrass customer service before and been extremely impressed. Plus, when you purchase a Sawgrass printer, you get a one-on-one consultation and they'll kind of walk you through your printer and fix any issues you have. The Epson F170 comes with a warranty, mixed results with the customer service. It's a large company, it's often very busy, hard to get through. So I've just had mixed results with customer service on that end. So bottom line, the new Brother Sublimation Printer, I don't think you can go wrong with it. If you are new to sublimation printing, this might just be the printer for you. It is seriously so easy to set up, and I got bright and vibrant colors the very first press. So it may be something that you might want to consider if you're considering jumping into sublimation. You might want to put the Brother Sublimation Printer on your radar, consider everything I talked about, the pros and the cons, and decide if it's the right printer for you. Now what I would like you to do is drop down the comment section below and ask me any questions that you have on the Brother Sublimation Printer, or anything you would like to see me do in the future with this printer, because I do want to cover it if you're interested in more information on it. Now if this video helped you, give us a thumbs up. If you haven't already, head on over to our YouTube channel. We have sublimation videos every single week, and trust me, you don't want to miss any of those. So thank you all so much for joining me, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.